I'm Kathryn Blume. I have a long background in theater primarily, although right now I happen to be running a community sustainability game called Vermontivate, which I could talk about forever, but this is about CYRANO. So I initially picked CYRANO not because of the film itself, but because of my high school theater teacher. I went to high school in Portland, Oregon, and my theater teacher was a guy named Alan Greiner. And Alan was kind of like the theatrical version of Gandalf. He was very thin, he had a big shock of silvery hair and a silvery beard. When he would sit cross-legged, he wouldn't just cross his legs, he'd wrap one leg completely around the other, chain smoker, really devoted teacher. And he was incredibly creative about how he taught us. And I took classes from him every semester, every year, all 4 years that I was in high school. And one of the things that he would frequently do is have us do play readings. And it was a wide range of stuff, from Shakespeare to Shaw to modern comedies. And it was always the students who read. Alan would never participate himself, except for the time we read Cyrano. And Alan had a very rich, deep, booming voice, much like Ian McKellen's. You can imagine what he sounded like. And he read and acted his heart out when we did Cyrano. And I was thunderstruck by what he did. And I've always associated him completely with this character and this play. And so when the list of films came up, I realized I'd never seen the film version and wanted to take a look. And when I screened it, I was really blown away by Jose Ferrer and his performance of Cyrano. And he won an Academy Award for it, so clearly I'm not the only one. But he created this character that is just rife with pride and loss and shame and grandeur. He's the man who's always the smartest guy in the room. He's the best swordsman in France, if not beyond France. He's literate, he's creative, he's a playwright as well as a soldier. But he happens to have the biggest nose in the history of schnozdom, and it, in his mind, prevents him from ever having love. Or he can experience love, but he's never going to realize it fully. He's never going to get the woman of his dreams. And I think that's something that we can all relate to, that sense of there being something so fundamentally broken about us that it will prevent us from realizing our dreams. And in the case of the character of Cyrano, he manages to do it anyway, secretly, and win her heart, but not get her, and yet get her at the end, but not get her. And it's poignant and heartbreaking, and yet incredibly funny, and ultimately so relatable. And I think the audiences for this film series are going to have such a fun time watching him be the swashbuckling soldier, the lovesick poet, the incredibly devoted friend, the thorn in the side of the establishment. And there's so much in Cyrano, I think, that we can all connect to. And we root for him as much as we root for our own heart's deepest longings. So this is for everyone out there who's got some version of a nose, and for Alan Greiner, who's about 90 years old now and living in Switzerland, and the best theater teacher I ever had.